There's a real cool club on the other side of town where the real cool kids gotta sit around and talk bad.
You are listening to the Cool Paso podcast.
Yeah, it's a real cool
I am your host, Vanessa Herold, and this is episode 2. And we will be discussing the topic of videography in El Paso. Today we have a special guest with us. His name is Andres, and he's with Drulife Project. Everybody give him a big hand.
What's going on, y'all? Shout out Cool Paso.
Thank you, sir. And Drew, tell us a little bit about how you got started in videography.
I started in videography. Oh man! So to be honest with you, it started back during the pandemic. I've always had love for videography. Started off with pictures, though. I'm not gonna lie. Started off with pictures until I would say 2021. That's where I really got my hands dirty in the field. Shout out to Sun City Reapers. Shout out Toon Squad. They're the flag football team. They're the ones that hit me up. They're like, "Hey, Drew, we see you take pictures, man. You think can you record video?" I was like, "You know what, man? I've always wanted to do video. Let's give it a shot." And mainly, shout out to Mons, shout out to John, because they're the ones that actually gave me a chance to actually get on the flag football field. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I knew about the league, but at the same time, I didn't know how big it was then.
Oh, Southwest Flag Football?
Yeah, the Southwest Flag Football.
Shout out.
Yeah, of course. But and so that's when I started getting to know everybody. But at the same time, people were like, "Hey, do you just record them, or do you record other teams?" I was like, "Oh, no, just for them." But as each week went by, that's when that's how I am right now. But yeah, I would say I started 2021 and till now, 2024.
And did you do it in high school or?
Now I wasn't yearbook in high school, but I wasn't. I was like that dude, just like seeing things. Shout out Hector if you're seeing this. I was I guess you could say I was looking up to him during that time because he was getting his Photoshop. That's when Photoshop started getting more until my senior year, and then I've always wanted a camera. I've always wanted a camera after high school, but during that time, I was just like living my life. I was like going to festivals, going out of El Paso, just enjoying life. Now, when I started more focused on getting like a camera, I started with the Canon M50, like a small camera. Like, oh, let's see what I could do. And friends started hitting me up first. Family started hitting me up first with pictures. But I've always loved doing videos. Shout out to the iPhones.
Right, and that's how we got started too. Just filming the family, filming the kids.
Shout out to family. Honestly, shout out to family.
Shout out to Eastwood High School. That's where both of my kids graduated. But let me ask you, where did you learn how to do videography?
So I guess it's a funny story. So Vine.
Yeah.
I started off with Vine. I've always loved doing videos, like funny videos. I did like a small skit on Facebook. It was like football players versus soccer players, and it was like a small skit proving that football players could play in soccer players' sports and soccer players could play in the football field as well. But after that, I've always loved doing like after movies, like going on vacation and then just putting the videos together. And then during that time, which was, I don't know, like 2014, 2015, 2016, vlogging. I didn't know it was vlogging. I was just doing my own thing until later on. They're like, "Dude, like you should just vlog." Like, "Oh, wasn't I doing that?" And they're like, No. You just vlogging is like talking to the camera, like actually like interacting with them. Like, oh, okay. So I've always liked being in front of the camera, but at the same time, I knew I had skills behind the camera as well.
And how do people order for Drulife?
So usually they contacted through my DMs. People do have my personal number, which is kind of weird because sometimes in my settings they're like, "Hey, dude, I've been trying to contact you, but it says you can't receive messages." And I'm like, "Wait, what do you mean?"
So Instagram?
So Instagram's my best bet. I do have a Facebook as well, but I'm not normally on Facebook, so sometimes having like a business page Facebook, I'm like, oh, yeah, I forgot. I have to check my messages. So I have my messenger on Drulife projects, and I had people that messaged me for like 2 weeks ago, and I'm like, oh my god, like I gotta kind of get in contact with that too. But I try to reach on social medias. YouTube sometimes if they leave like a comment, hey, how much do you charge? And then from there I just like message them.
Is it different for different sports, or is it one bottom line?
Like what I charge?
Yeah, is it different for like volleyball, high school football?
No.
What do you do? Do you ever do volleyball?
Yeah, I did actually. I did my first time. There was a tournament, a volleyball tournament, this past couple of months, and I'm usually not afraid to try new stuff like different sports. So I was like, okay, like volleyball, and they asked for like personalized highlights. I was like, okay, so like I followed this athlete, and I'm like, okay, like, dude, what's their highlights? What is like what's their go to? Um, because some of them have want like a wide open shot, and some of them just want them just soloed like video. Um, but yeah, no, like volleyball, I got my hands dirty with them. Right now, I'm usually doing football, baseball's here and there. I still want to try soccer. I still haven't got my hands dirty in soccer. And I think
Everybody,
that's about it.
soccer. Let us know, man. There's lots of soccer games.
Yes.
I know they have them at Blackie Chester right there on Yarborough.
Yes. On Yarborough, right?
Mm-hmm.
The inside one, right?
There's a league. No, there's a league right there. If you go, it's south of I-10, and there's a park right there.
Oh yeah. On the right side, right?
Yeah, it's called Blackie Chester.
Oh, okay. I think I just had a game there, but for softball. It was for softball.
Yeah, they got baseball fields out there too.
But yeah. Usually right now is flag football, and right now, due to Prep One, shout out Prep One. I am
Shout out Jesse.
shout out Jesse. Right now, I'm usually in the high school sports as well. Basketball. Oh, of course, I love basketball.
Yeah, I saw you out there, man.
Yeah, basketball. I love basketball.
I saw you at the Don Haskins Center.
Yeah,
filming the championships.
It was pretty cool filming it. It was like a surreal moment. I try to take small moments, like small wins, into like big wins, because you never know if you could shoot a actual UTEP game or an actual like NBA game, college game. You just never know. So just seeing that recording in the high school games was pretty cool.
I wanted to invite our good friend GK on the podcast. However, he declined my invitation. He said he's out the game.
He's out?
That's what he said.
Oh. Shout out GK. One thing I can, respect about him is that he was putting in the work. He was like somebody that was just seeing like each week post videos from time to time again. And people from the flag football community were telling me like, "Hey man, like where's GK? Like, have you heard from him?" I'm like, "Oh," but I'm gonna be honest with you, life catches up to you. So I'm pretty sure maybe that's what's going on, but I'm big assuming right now. But that's one thing I do respect is that we have normal lives that's outside of this. Bills doesn't wait.
Right.
Like your life you want to continue with your life, but at the same time you want to make your dreams come true and see how much further you could take it. Um, but yeah, I've met GK maybe about a year ago. I was recording, 2 years ago actually. I was recording the Sun City Reapers and Toon Squad, and he was there. He was recording, I guess, the opposite scene of Sun City Reapers, and he's like, "Hey man, have you been doing this for a while?" I'm like, "No, I'm just barely getting started with my small Canon M50." Um, but we did collab a few times. But yeah, I haven't heard from him at all. But
yeah, we used to collab. Oh boy, what was it? 2 or 3 years ago. He was helping us out with orders, and we really appreciated him because we were absolutely swamped, and we were getting orders left and right. And we kind of trained him up to where he kind of started his own business, and he did really well.
That's cool. That's what I'm saying. Like I at the end of the day, I do have to respect his work because, like, oh man, like trying to have like your normal job, your normal life, and edit and try to get like that same video within a couple hours. Like, whoa, man, like that takes a lot of hustle. I'm still editing mine.
I think a lot of people got mad at him for not doing it quick enough, and he just couldn't take the pressure.
No, yeah, and that's one thing. People do have to like respect some type of boundaries because like your video will come out. Just if you want it rushed, okay, by all means. But if you don't like it how it came out, like you wanted it rushed, so it's like don't worry, like we got you. Like we'll take care of you.
Right, right. And that's why I have to charge full price on my highlight
No,
videos
no,
because
you do. That's good that you do. You got to charge full price because if you don't, like, hey man, what can you do with $20? Can you do this? Like, how much? Are you $20? Like, um, that's like a $70, $80 that you want.
yeah, we
Um,
we charge 150 for our game highlight videos and
oh,
we
you have
charge
to.
350 for our season highlight videos,
That's
which is
good.
really cheap.
That compared, yeah, that, I understand. Like compared to others, like, um, I mean, long story short, like with quinceañeras, there's people that charge over a certain amount of price, and I charge them this, and it's like, oh wait, because I'll work with you. I understand, but
Right, I will too.
at the same time, I'm not gonna go that cheap either, like,
No.
because it's not easy. It's not easy doing this. A lot of people think it's easy work, easy editing, but once like they get their hands dirty on it, it's like, oh, Drew, now I know what you were
No,
talking
yeah, for
about.
quinces, for weddings, that's like a whole week's worth of work. It's
hmm
thousands and thousands of pictures and it's a drag.
Mhm. It is. It is, and I was just, talking about this earlier that, you could get stuck on just editing, and then time just goes by, and it's just like, "What? It's been, like, 4 hours already?" Like, "Oh, man," like, you gotta get your
Mhm.
sleep, you gotta go to your normal job, and if you have a family or, like, a significant other, you don't wanna leave them behind, so it's like, "Oh, man, you gotta make time for everything," and that's one thing I do believe, we just gotta make time. Just gotta make time.
Oh yeah, balance is the key, absolutely.
Mhm.
But back to orders and stuff.
Mhm.
Um I I I do give a discount to our friends in the flag football league.
Oh, of course.
I'm not gonna lie, we've been with them for a long time, and
That's good.
I help them out on the cheap all the time, man.
That's good, and I'm right there with you because I'm more of like, okay, you know what? They've been contacting me for a while. I'll give them a free bone. Um, because what I do is like if the teams that are contacting me like every other week or weekly, I'm like, okay, you know what? Instead of charging you full price, I'll give you like maybe $10 off, or throw in some pictures there that free of charge. Or what I've been doing too is like instead of the full video, I do like a little intro for them, and like, oh, hey, Drew, like, do we need to pay you more for that? I'm like, no, it's fine. It's just out of curiosity to me. Like, if you work with me, I'll work with you. But sometimes I guess when other teams try to contact me, they do ask like, dude, why are you charging so much? And it's like, I charge $40 a game. I charge $40 a game just to be there, record, go home, edit, and have the video within like the next 2 days. But sometimes they think that's expensive, and I was like, oh, you know what? I could understand that. Maybe 30, no, 25. Okay, we'll work with you. And I'm thinking like when you go to the gas station or when you just go to the store, you could easily waste $25. So I'm thinking like, so I'm worth $25. It's just like three items that you checked out, and I'm
Right,
like, something's not something's not right.
right. It
Um,
doesn't add up.
but no, I completely agree. I do work with people that like if you contact me every other week because you love my work, yeah, I'll work with you on prices.
Exactly.
That's good though. That's good.
And I had to change our on our website. Our cheapest price we have is $50 for a 1 hour flag football game.
Oh, okay,
Yeah, and
and that's fair.
we got 75 for the youth football and then 100 for the high school football.
Okay, and
Hmm.
I think that's fair, especially like when I came into the game. I think I already had known you guys, Cole Paso, and I known about the YouTube channel. So to be here now, it's kinda surreal, like a full circle moment.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
I like, you guys put in the hustle. I think you guys were, like, the first ones out there to record the youth, record the middle school games, the high school games, like you said, volleyball.
Right. Besides the high school kids over there doing
Mhm.
their thing. But yeah, yeah, you're right. We kind of were the founders. I think the only other people on YouTube that were doing it was Under the Radar. Have you heard of them?
Under the radar. No. I've heard of EP Gridiron, only because I
Oh,
was in
yeah.
high school sports and,
Yeah, he's a G,
like,
man.
EP Gridiron,
He's an
yeah.
old school G. Shout out EP Gridiron.
Shout out EP Gridiron. Yeah, when I was in high school, Parkland High School, shout out Parkland High School, class of 2014. Um, it was always like a every other Friday thing, like, where are they ranking us? Like, hey, why? we're not in top 10. What's going on? So we were always on the EP Gridiron website.
Yeah, the gridiron guy, he contacted us and he offered us his film. He said he was leaving, he was out of the game just like GK, and he offered us the film if we wanted to do anything with it. And I told him, dude, we have so much film, we don't know what to do with it.
Oh man, and
Thank you for the offer, sir, but I don't know what to do
oh,
with
man,
it.
honestly, it's just I don't know. I'm touching back with these GK. I don't know. I don't know if he's out. I know he probably told you that, but it just seems so unreal. Like he has an audience. Like he has some.
Yeah, the kids love him, and I
Yeah.
remember going,
And no offense, like I would be out there like, hey GK, and I'm turning around like, oh dude, I'm so sorry. That is not me. Like I am so sorry. And shout out GK, but no, that's not me. But that's when he's made noise around the community.
yeah,
But that's one thing I try to do. I was like, okay, you know what? Cool Paso has their own thing. GK has their own thing. Like, I was like, oh, what can I do like differently to see maybe like for me like how I am as a person? Because I love all types of genre music, so that's what I love trying to do. Like, see what's different. Because it's like you said, I think anybody could just grab a camera and record. But at the same time, it's like what makes you different from others?
mhm.
What makes us different from others? And that's what's one thing when I was getting more teams contacting me, I was like, oh man, like the nerves would kick in, but at the same time, it's like, no, you just got to keep pushing forward and just do you and see how it goes.
Yeah, it's cool, man. Getting orders. We go to different parks, places we never been,
And it's
and
cool when we see you guys on the same field. Like as we're leaving, you're
right.
coming in, or like at the same time, it's like, oh, it's so cool. Just
Yes,
like
sir.
now we're
I
coming.
always say hi to my friends
Hmm.
on the sidelines. Everybody. I know sometimes I'll be filming, and if you tap me on the shoulder, I'll say hello. But after I'm done filming.
Yeah, don't bother me. I'm locked in.
Yeah, right. But yeah, definitely, man. We probably need to start a union for videographers because it's speaking of EP Gridiron, he went through a lot, just having a lot of drama, people
Hmm.
hating on him and stuff.
And that's one thing. That's what it comes with, I guess. And I wasn't ready for that. Like as much as there's a lot of good, the hate's gonna come with it as well.
Right.
And I don't know. That's one thing I wasn't ready for. Because with me, I'm the type of person like as long as you're with me, you're never gonna feel alone. So, but at the same time, it's like you have your supporters, but you also have those people that just like lurk at your stuff. It's like, why you follow me? What's going on? Like, what's the connection?
Well, I've said hi to HDZ. I don't know what his name is. Shout out HDZ. But he doesn't talk, dude. He doesn't say hi.
He's a quiet dude. I've met him before. HD. I'm not gonna lie. I respect his work. But yeah, he's a quiet dude. He's a quiet dude. I said what's up to him. He's like, and that's pretty much it. Like the last time I seen him was on 7 on 7. Andrews. I think it was Oh my god, what league
Oh,
was it?
7 on 7. Okay, that was a
Hmm.
couple weeks ago then.
Yeah, it was a couple weeks ago, and that was my only chance that I really talked to him, break it down, like, because sometimes the problems that I have, I'm thinking like it's just me until you talk to other videographers, and then they say that almost the same situations. Like, okay, so I'm not tripping. It's like you have the same problems as me. But yeah, shout out to him. The thing I will respect is just his work. His work looks cinematic, and I think that's the goal with everybody, just trying to make a movie out of it. But yeah, he's a quiet dude, but I think he's just in his own lane, I guess.
Right, and everybody has their own style. Sometimes I don't talk to people, sometimes I'm in my own, world.
And that's I think that's just like a human thing, I guess. Like
Yeah.
sometimes you could be the most talkative person, and then you just can have your days like, why are you staring at me? Like, oh, it's because you're just quiet. Like, oh, okay, like, no, I'm okay. I'm just
Oh,
quiet today.
yeah. I mean, sometimes maybe we don't wanna be there, man. It's a Friday night, we could be out partying, you know?
Yeah, honestly, it does happen where you make plans. Hey, Drew, you busy from so and so? Yeah, and then it's canceled. Mm. Oh, is that okay? Like, it's okay. I didn't have plans. In reality, you did.
Yeah. Yeah, but HDZ, he does, photography and video, both are very respectable and outstanding. He does a lot of neon work.
Mhm.
And I learned a lot of that stuff at UTEP. Shout out Professor Lama. And yeah, he taught us how to do a lot of photography tricks where you kind of like move the light in the background,
Oh
and then
yeah.
it's a shutter effect.
Mhm.
But Yeah, man. He does all the lighting effects, and he gets down even on the football field. So wow,
Hmm.
great job.
And what I've noticed, I guess you could say, I thought it was just like me, for example, because I've always known about you, and then JK came along, and then I guess starting to work with Prep One. There's a lot of camera people. There's a lot of camera people. There's a lot of videographers. So it's like whoa.
It's like
So
the high school kids, right?
mhm. Usually they're the high school kids. I guess you could say like interns, and then it could range between like 20, 21, 22, and then I guess for me like 26, 27, 28.
Mm.
Um, but one thing I've learned is like I guess it's just a human thing, which is respectable. Uh, everybody supports each other, but at the end
That's
of the
cool.
day, it's a friendly competition.
Mm.
So it's like, okay, that's understandable. That works because I guess just being honest. I don't know, but correct me if I'm wrong. But at the same time, I'm trying to be better than you,
Oh
but at the
yeah,
same day,
absolutely.
you're trying to be better than me.
Bro, do you know how hard it burned me when GK was like doing all these great videos and I was
And
like, man, I have no highlights because I just do full games.
and I'm not gonna lie, I was the same way. Like, all right, well, I'm trying to be better than JK. At the same time, JK's trying to like, be better than me, and that's what I'm saying. It just happens. But
Iron sharpens iron, and I think it made me a better videographer having a good, healthy competition.
that's
So,
good. That's really good. That's what I respect. Is that at the end of the day, like we're friendly to each other, but at the same time, it's kind of like competitive, and which is cool because sky's the limit. Because you never know,
mm.
like cool Paso from here now, like you could be having a podcast with like the biggest people here. You never know. And then
Yeah.
also with Jake, he did ask me. He's like, "Hey man, do they contact you?" Like, and I'm like, "Oh yeah." When I started getting like different people, like, "Yeah, they do." Like, oh, okay, like, how do you do? Do you charge them like free videos? I'm like, no, I charge like $30 to $40. Like, oh, okay, that's cool. And I guess it's just like a learning thing. Like, how do you do it, and how do you do it? Like learning from each other. But at the same time, I will put my 2 cents there, like, sometimes giving advice is not the best advice either, because sometimes they could just be taking that advice. Because I learned that with a lot of videographers, camera people, outside of this, because they could be cool with you, but at the same time, they won't support you, and it's like, what's going on?
Oh, like two-facing
Yeah,
it. Ooh, we
are
see you, boo.
are you just being real in person and not on social media? Because I mean, you've seen those TikToks, you've seen people like you start thinking stuff and then it just pops out like, okay, maybe I'm not tripping because there's other person experiencing that too. And I just want to touch base on this because I did like a couple of days ago. Um, I feel like I was being used. I feel like I was being used. I was doing putting in more of the work than getting the support back.
Mm.
So I had to post like a video I did on Instagram, and a lot of people reached out to me saying like, "Thank you, like you're speaking for the others that don't have a voice." And at first, I was like, "Okay, that's cool," but this is like a personal thing. Until I started getting more messages, and that's when it hit me. It's a general problem that El Paso has,
Hmm.
and I'm like, "Okay, maybe it's not a me thing; it's people's thing." So, and that's what I like. You can have all the talent, but it's like the work that you put in. Like I would rather respect people that hustle it, that's just like try it out, than the people that had a freebie, that had the easy way out. So I like the people that grind it each week, each day.
There was a lot of grinding when we first started. A lot of watching YouTubes, learning how to
Yeah,
troubleshoot
YouTube
different
videos.
computer problems, different software problems, different camera problems.
And till this day, sometimes you do have that like, oh man, like here we go again with the computer or the mic, or
It's
because it
always
does happen. I
something.
recorded a
Updates.
game, and where's the sound? The mic was never on.
Ooh,
So
don't you hate that one?
you got to tell the client, hey, I have the video ready. Just there's no sound. Just got to take like a little bit $10 off, or and like if those fans like, it's okay, man. We just want the film. It's all right. Like they'll put a song over it. Okay, by all means, send the link.
Oh, it's a nightmare. I had a bad mic one time, and all it did the whole time was ring, and
Oh,
that was worse than no sound at all. So it
or you
was
hear
like,
my mic was working, and you just hear the whole video, and I'm like, gotta love it.
oh, that stops your heart, man.
But that's another thing that another thing too,
I
like
hate that.
without those problems, you won't learn from them. So I always tell people like, don't take it as L's, just take it as lessons. Just
Right.
take it as lessons.
Right. And I want to mention another friend of mine. Her name is Nia Gray.
Shout out Neon Gray.
She's from Gray Way Graphics. She took a couple lessons off of us as well. I trained her how to
That's so
do
cool.
some video, and she went on, and she was an Eastwood parent, but now her kid doesn't play for Eastwood. He plays for the Purge, which is a
Mm,
flag football team. So she films them, and
that's so
she's
cool.
always doing great things for them. So shout out Gray Way Graphics, man.
That's
But
so,
like
but
like I
that's cool.
said,
Like they learned from you. You know what I mean? Like so, seeing them going on like their own journey, you just like know like, oh, it's kind of cool. Like that's one thing about me is that and which I also said in the video, like I respect people that just put in the work. You know what I mean? Like you could have 10 followers, 20 followers, 300 followers, but at the same time, like if you're putting in the work, I would rather see that than the person that has like a lot of followers and they just post like maybe 5 times in a year, and it's like, no, let's go with the person that's trying to be somebody, trying to make maybe their goal, their dream come true.
right, right. And we definitely want to lift each other up, but
Yes.
at the same time, um, are we going to be reciprocated is the question. And
Uh,
um, I mean, we love helping, but are we going to be helped back?
yes.
So
Mm-hmm.
that's the biggest
Ooh.
problem. We have to watch out for ourselves. And I think now, instead of just training for free, we're going to offer like a very low price
Mm-hmm.
for training just to get people in the door. And if they decide to start their own business, I'll be fine with that because I got my little bit
Mm-hmm.
and we both get something out of it. I mean, everybody that I see on the sidelines with a camera, I like to say hello.
Yeah.
I mean, first of all, I might be able to work with this person one day.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you know,
Like I said, I think you want to leave like a good impression on them.
form a relationship.
Yeah.
Because I mean, this is El Paso, man, and there's very few of us here. I mean, people do get like lost with all the people. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah. Like how you said, like you do like saying hi to people, and that's one thing I've learned is that that person that you just met, maybe that's the last time you're gonna see him. So that last impression you left on that person, maybe like, oh, like Drew, like, oh, I did meet him, and you probably never seen him again, but you want to always leave like a good impression, like, oh, he's a cool dude.
I think most Mexican mothers have taught their children to say hi to, like, hey, say hi to your tia, say hi to your grandma,
like,
come
no
on.
seas payaso, go say hi.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true, and it's like you said, and you're not gonna lose anything from that. You just that's how you are, and I guess that's what I've learned too is that I guess how can you say this
Common courtesy,
like
really.
yeah, common courtesy, like like I always tell people like recently, you bleed the same way I do, you pay bills the same way I do, so I don't see me like better than you because we're all just trying to make it at the end of the day. We're trying to be somebody at the end of the day. And they're like, you know what, Drew, like, you know what, I respect that. Like, it's just not trying to be a better person, but it's just a human thing.
Yeah, we definitely got to watch out for each other. And, like the whole sportsmanship with sports,
Hmm.
I think it kind of goes the same way with us photographers and videographers.
Hmm.
We kind of got to, yes, compete, but also shake each other's hand and, show each other respect.
Hmm. Yeah, because one thing learning in the flag football community, um, teams would hit me up, you know what I mean, and it's the first time meeting them. But then like 2 weeks, 1 week later, like, hey man, be careful with that team, man. They're shady this, shady that. I'm like, hey, well, I'm there to record. You know what I mean? Like once they do something towards me, okay, then we'll talk about it. Till then, we're okay. But sometimes you make enemies without even make enemies. It's like, oh, you're recording that team. Like, what's going on? Like, they just hit me up, man. Like, I didn't know there was drama. Like, my hands are clean. I don't know there was drama between you guys, but I guess you just learn as you go.
Bro, orders are orders. So,
Yeah.
like,
Money talks at the end of the day.
Pay me and I will be there. I don't care if I'm mad at you or if we got beef. I will not say a word to you. I would just record your game.
Yeah. But yeah, I respect that. I respect that a lot.
Yeah, and I would also say that that's happened to me before. I was told not to record the Broncos because of how much drama they bring. everybody who knows who the EP Broncos are.
I was about to yeah, the EP Broncos because
they bring the drama, bro. So yeah, I've been told not to record them, but I didn't listen. But at this time, the Broncos, they went from having like 5 different age groups to now I think they only have 2 different age groups. So they're kind of dying out, man.
wow.
But shout out to Jay Cota. He's still in there teaching these kids how to play. So shout out, Coach. And shout out Coach Lara, too, because he started the Broncos.
But yeah, like I said, I was recording the flag football community, and then the youth football program started like hitting me up. And I'm not gonna lie, usually they'd be like, "Hey, GK said he has a team recorded already at this time. You think you could record me?" And I'll be like, "You know what? Yeah, that's fine. Like, I'll go ahead and take it." And then from that team, it just grows into the other team. Like, who recorded that game for you? And, oh, it's this guy. Like, he recorded it. But sometimes, like you said, like sometimes you just get too busy, you just stack up, and it's like I'm more of like, yeah, I'll do it until later on I'm like, why did I say yes? Like I'm busy already. Like, you know what? But that's what you signed up for. So that's what I mean. Like, you got to make time. It's so crazy. Sometimes I'm on like TikToks, Reels, whatever you want to call it. There's one video that says when you just got done with the photo shoot and they text you 2 hours later like, hey, can you send the pictures? And it's like that's funny until you actually experience it, and it's like, they really want the pictures that same day? What's going on? Like, no, man, you're gonna have to wait. And to me, I could be petty like that. Like, if you do that, well, it's gonna take longer.
That's just not understanding technology. Because when you open up the folder and you see thousands of pictures, and they say, "Just give me this one picture," it's hard to find, man. I mean,
or you send them the pictures and you're like, "Hey, where's that picture that you like?" What do you mean that one picture? I sent you all the ones that I could send you. But it's like, no, that picture that you took, like,
I definitely like to shoot video more than I like to do photography, because photography is extremely difficult. And it all depends on luck, I feel sometimes, and how good you are with your camera.
Yeah. Honestly, like I said, it's so weird because I started with pictures, but at the same time, I would always shoot videos like with my iPhone and everything. So when I started recording on video, I don't know if it's because I was already doing it with my phone, so I just made it more easier with the camera. But sometimes I'm like the opposite. Sometimes I like taking pictures because to me sometimes it's like easier to send them out like the next few days. But then sometimes I catch myself like, wait, there's a lot of pictures I gotta go over. I'd rather just do video. So it's just like, I guess, seasons. I guess it depends what photo shoot it is.
Yeah, seasons. Right now it's the summer season, and Paso slows down a lot as far as
during like summer, because I'm like that too. Like somehow this past 2 months it's been slower than usual.
Yeah, we've been hurting. So we decided to do this podcast thing so that we can just have something to do, man.
And that's cool. Like, again, shout out Paso with this podcast. Like, it's something different, something unique, and make sure to like and subscribe, guys. Come on now.
Yes, do it now. Like, subscribe this video, because this is Drew's episode, man.
Appreciate y'all.
But yeah, we have a lot of friends in the flag football community. I mean, Adrian is one of them.
Adrian.
From the Southwest Flag Football League. He's always cool with us out there.
Yeah, I ran into him a couple times too. He's always just making sure, like, hey, man, love what you do. Just don't post like no fights or anything. Yeah. Like, no, that's cool, man. That's cool. I get you. Like, you don't want to make your league, or like him and other 2 people, I think, don't want to make the league look bad. So I respect that. And that's one thing about me is sometimes a lot of people don't like being on camera.
Yeah.
So, common courtesy, that's what I like doing, is like, hey, Drew, like, like, yeah, I can. But I mean, in reality, it's like, I can record you, but at the same time, it's like, no, just out of respect, just I'll shoot like in a different frame so that way you don't come out.
Yeah.
That happens in quinceañeras and weddings. Like, you want to take a picture? And they're like, no, man, no, get it out of me. You're like, oh, whoa, all right. Yeah. On to the next person.
Yep.
Like, all right.
Some kids are real shy, and I just ignore them because if they don't want a picture, they probably have a reason. Maybe it's a pimple. Maybe their hair didn't come out right. I'll just skip them, and I'll go on to the next person. But I mean,
Even then, honestly, I do have a video. I think it's in my saved files. One of the times I was recording a game, and she's like, "Oh, it's cool, Paso." And then a buddy of mine, he's like, "Hey, man, I think they're calling you." And then I turned around, and then they're like, "Are you cool, Paso?" And I'm like, "I'm so sorry. Like, no, I'm not, but I know who they are." So I thought that was kind of cool because that's what I'm saying. Like, as much as like I'm out there, you guys spread the word of you guys. You know what I mean? You guys are out there. They know who Cool Paso is.
I'd like to say we're good at advertising, but we do very little advertising, and the little that we do is just basically like passing out the bands.
And that's another thing a lot of people don't understand. Sometimes, like, I want to be a photographer. Well, that comes with sometimes being a therapist to other people. That's sometimes being a marketer. Sometimes being like, now it's called like influencer. You know, and now it's like, wait. I thought I was just gonna take pictures. Like, no, man, you got to get your pictures out there. You got to get your name out there. You got to like, oh man,
I call myself a content creator, not an
there you go.
influencer,
Content creator. There you go.
because I'm not trying to influence anything. Well, I guess now that I'm talking, I guess you could call me a influencer now.
Add that to the resume.
Our very first podcast came out on Tuesday, so today is actually the 4th of July.
Oh yeah, happy 4th of July, guys. Be safe out there. Don't do nothing crazy.
Happy Independence Day. Everybody's shooting off fireworks right about now, possibly.
It's about that time.
And well, I mean,
hopefully it doesn't rain.
Sometimes I like to put together a little a video for my family of all the festivities.
Oh, okay.
So we might do a little something like that this year.
For 4th of July?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, man, I mean, being a photographer, it's tough. And a lot of times I feel like when I see kids struggling, I want to coach them, but that's not my hat. Like, I'm not a coach. I'm not there to be, helping these kids out in that way. So I got to remember why my purpose of being there, and just kind of like stay in my lane,
Yeah, and I think that's a lot of people nowadays is like, stay in your own lane, but at the same time, that what it comes with, like supporting other people. And that's my thing, like sometimes we're at an age, it's like, what you're doing, what you're doing, like don't try to hide it, don't try to, sorry, but BS it. So that's what I like doing. Like I like supporting people, but at the same time, like you said, you want to help people, but once you don't get it back, it's like, like what's going on? Like, but I guess
you gotta watch out for those coaches too, because I mean, they get aggressive out there. So a lot of times I don't really like to be a part of the space-time continuum. I just like to document.
Yeah. And sometimes, like, I guess you get in their way without getting in the way. Like, oh, I'm so sorry, but no, it's okay. I don't like you being on here. Like, this is where, like, okay, that's fine.
Fine. Coaches can be sensitive, so we definitely watch out for them. But
one thing I will say, I guess, like I said, I met a lot of people within this past 2 years. Like a lot of, I guess you could say like content creators. Like, it could be from Prep One, it could be from Borderland Sports, it could be from Cole Paso, it could be there's like the Minor Vision. Well, in my case, I'm trying to go like in the rave scene as well, like Wasted Presents, J&K Presents, SMG events. Like that's what I've learned is just there's a lot of people like that can hold a camera, a lot of videography, but at the same time, what I like trying to do is like, there's a whole football team, right? Like 10 of them, but at least if you could try just getting one person out of that football team just to genuinely appreciate what you do, that's fine. The other person, one at a time. Next thing you know, you have your own team behind you. It may take a while, but at the same time, now you have your own team. And another thing, I saw a video that said, how like, oh, your video just gets 100 views, 200 views, 300 compared to other people. But imagine being in a room in front of 200 people, in front of 500 people. Like, would you act the same way? I'm like, oh my God, actually, no, that's true. Like, I probably would have been like, Drulife projects here in front of 500 people. So, that's what I like doing is just like appreciate the small wins, because eventually later on you'll get with the big time. And that's what I believe. Like, as long as you hustle, you are going to be appreciated later on.
Right. I mean, if you can make it in this town, you can make it anywhere. But I think a lot of the talent in El Paso usually leaves because That's where the money's at, man.
But there's one dude. Apologize, Isaiah Productions. He just graduated. I don't know, from like a Texas Careers. But to make this long story short, he is going to go to Miami, Florida, I believe, to record a league there somehow in basketball.
Ooh.
And see that I think that's pretty dope. Like he was working with Prep One, and then just in a couple months later, like he's already going to go to Miami, for the same thing, like production.
Going pro.
And
that's how you do it.
And that's how it is. Like I think that's trying to go to the next level. And like you said, like support along the way, because he was always a big supporter for us too. And just for him being in that next level, it's like, hey man, we'll still be right behind you, man, supporting you.
Yeah, I mean the most professional gig I got was last year. Actually, I did a soccer tournament.
Mm-hmm.
It was called Alianza, and it's basically a 2-day tournament, and it's boys and girls. But they paid me $75 per hour, and I was there all day, dude.
Oh wow!
I got like a $600-700 check.
Shout out to them.
Yeah. Shout out Sequel out of Austin, Texas, for hiring me.
Yeah, that's dope, and that's what I'm saying. Like, you just never know. You never know who's gonna contact you, and that's my thing. Like that video they posted, you just don't know if it's gonna reach certain people, and that's one thing I've learned is that maybe that one view is all you need for that person to contact you, and that person could be like someone in the major leagues, college, and it's like, oh wow, like because there's one thing I think I've seen in a podcast that said, don't hesitate to upload your videos because you just never know who's watching. It could be like someone like college, and it's like, wait, but my video only got 40 views. I don't. Doesn't matter. I like what you do.
Yeah, I like seeing all the highlights on Instagram. All the different content creators all around the nation doing their thing. Just very inspirational stuff on there.
Mm-hmm. And I guess before I do forget, I do want to shout out the flag football community because I think without them, I wouldn't have been who I am today. Starting with the Sun City Reapers, starting with Mons and John, but from there I did expand to the flag football community, starting with like Audience of One, Chuco Flags, Show Your Right Zone out of California. They're like leagues that just put the community together, try to make like different tournaments, and like just meeting like a lot of new people like from different areas.
Who's running Audience of One? Do you know?
Richie.
Is it Richie?
Richie, and then I think his wife, but I think it's a whole family. There's a family behind it.
Okay, because I think
shout out Coach Blair. Coach Blair. I think he's one of them.
Shout out Coach Blair.
Coach Blair. I believe he's one of them. I don't think he's the main one, but he's somewhere around there. Sometimes they're like, oh, do you want like the full games? Do you want like because lately I've been doing like the mic'd up, like asking them questions just to get the community going, or like a highlight video. But yeah, that's one thing I'm really like nervous about is like, okay, like just ask them the questions. Sometimes I guess how you are, that's how they attract like the vibes. Because next thing you know, they just like, hey Drew, what's up? And because there was a recent video that I did like In-N-Out or Whataburger. And they're like, oh, okay. You know what? Like In-N-Out because so and so and so. Whataburger because so and so and so. And then I just genuinely asked the next person next to him, like, hey, do you want to be on the video? And something, okay, that's fine. But sometimes, like you said, like they're shy and everything until like you put out the video and it's like, oh my God, Drew, that was a good video, man. Like it's cool that you do that. So.
yeah. I mean, definitely. That's the thing that the kids want to do. Those are like TikTok reels type of stuff that you're coming up with.
And that's what I guess it's just about content creation now.
Yeah. So if you want to get mic'd up, give this guy a call. I know a lot of people have been asking me, hey, can you mic us up? And I'm like, man, I don't have all that stuff. Like,
and yeah, it just comes obviously like that's another thing too in the photography business. You got to spend money as well to get the equipment. And they're not cheap, guys. They're not cheap. All this stuff, it comes with it. You know what I mean? Like they think like, how much did you spend on your camera? Like 500, 600,000? Like no, like I'm spending like almost $3,000 or $4,000 because sometimes it's just the body. Sometimes you need the long lens, you need the stand, you need the mic, and then you do the math, and it's like that's about like $5,000 to $6,000. And sometimes I'm like, you know what? Maybe I could have spent that money on something else. But at the same time, you got to willing to spend money to make your business grow, I guess.
Right, and I looked up to get the mic'd up kit. It's like a sports bra type of thing, and then it's like a $300 little like deal. And I was like, man, I can either do that or I can do this podcast. So here we are.
Here we are. Here we are. But again, a lot of people do podcasts, but at the same time, I don't think a lot of do podcasts about like what you're doing. You know what I mean? Like,
It's specifically sports orientated. So
Mhm.
I mean, we want to talk about like businesses and sponsors that fund sports.
Shout out to the sponsors.
So we could have like, potentially a lot of businesses on the podcast, and we're hoping for it. We're counting on it, and we want to invite anybody. If you're listening right now, real estate agents. If you
Anybody, yeah.
I mean, if you have your own business, you're a personal trainer.
Promote it.
Come on the show and let's talk about it.
Yeah, because you never know. Like I said, this is gonna be episode 2, right?
Mhm.
You never know. Like a couple months down, they're gonna be like an episode 100, 101, 50. You just don't know. Like I said, sky's the limit.
Yeah.
You just don't know. Like you know what your past is about, but you like a lot of people plan for tomorrow, couple days, but at the same time, you just don't know. Like your life could change in an instant.
True that.
Yeah.
But I definitely want to know. I know you're a photographer and a videographer. Any other skills?
uh, skills. It's a good question. I believe I do have other skills. It's one of those like.
You do graphics?
No. I did ask that before. If I do graphics, but at the same time, I sometimes like that's what graphic design is, and I'm like, okay, I guess it is. Like sometimes I like thumbnails. I guess like I try to crop out the pictures and like put them like in stickers into one. But then I was like, dude, that's what graphic designs is, and I'm like, oh, I. But yeah, like I said, like I was excited doing this podcast only because you've asked me for a couple while now that you wanted to do this podcast, and like I said, like me as a like just my own person, I like to be the voice. Some people that that can't say what they want to because they're afraid of what the other people are gonna say. And I'm the type like, what? Like I'll go against anybody that denies like what I'm trying to like persuade. Like how do you say, like be good vibes to a lot of people that feel like they're alone in the corner. Like, no, man, I'll take you out of that shadow,
Yeah.
and you'll be on my team, man. That's one thing I represent, like the underdogs. I represent
For
the
sure.
people that they want to be someone and say, hey, man, don't hesitate. Like, post that video, man. Like,
Mhm.
it's because like, no, dude, just post it. Go ahead, man. Like, the good and the bad is gonna come with it all the time. So,
Well, you're definitely brave to accept our invitation because, I mean, you just never know what could happen, right, on a podcast.
yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Like, that is true. That is true. But I respect you guys' work. Like I said, I respect Cole Paso. I respect what you guys do, honestly.
Right, and this is not live. This is edited. So, I mean, anything that, happens that we don't like, we could just cut it out, whatever.
Beep, beep, beep. F this. No, just kidding.
Yeah. Boop, boop, boop. Pee, 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 poop, poop, poop.
But a lot of people, like I said, it's 2024, and I got my hands into the field 2021. So within this past 2 years, Prep One reached out to me. I've gotten gigs to go to Albuquerque with the basketball team. Shout out Blue Chip. Right now I'm not gonna lie. Shout out Blue Chip Academy. Right now, it's like I said, I got a lot to take care of. And with them, like I stopped recording things because just life gets in the way, and that's one thing I do respect people about because we have lives outside of this. Like I said, like bills don't wait for anybody. Like you got to continue with your real life jobs, your real life as well. And so, like I said, like I respect everybody that puts in the hustle, that puts in the work, because I feel like one day it's gonna be worth it.
Right, and now that my kids are both graduated from high school, I feel like I'm a little bit more free to, take more on. So I feel like that's why we really started the podcast, because it's kind of like the next step in our evolution.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Always moving on up.
Yeah, it's crazy, man, because, like, I mean, some of these cameras I bought with my student loan.
Hey, you got to work with it.
Yeah.
You got to do it.
Shout out Department of Education.
Shout out to them. But yeah, like some of my cameras, my Canon my Canon EOS R10. I got it from Best Buy, which I just found out recently. Like, don't sleep on the Facebook market,
Mm.
because a dude from California, also a videographer, he said, "Hey man, just a lot of people that sell their cameras online, like they took care of them. So like, obviously, you got to test it out when you should get it and everything, so that way it works. But don't sleep on the Facebook market. Like, don't sleep on it."
Interesting. Yeah, I talk to a lot of parents that say that they bought a camera but have no idea how to use it. So those are probably the people that are selling them.
Yeah, yeah.
And if you're one of those parents, I want to teach you how to use your camera. Hit me up, man, and I will teach you for a very low price.
And it's true what they say, like, because there's people that buy like a Canon and they're like, "Hey Drew, like, what settings do you use? What?" And I just tell them, and then like, "Oh, it's because my pictures don't come out crispy like yours." And then I just like, this is what I do, and then I use InShot, color grading, etc., etc.
You need to stop telling all your secrets.
I know. But then like a couple weeks later, they're like, "Drew, I tried your method and it did work." I'm like, "Oh, that's cool. Like, it's gonna take time, but eventually you get to that point." And they're like, "Now I'm recording, and now I'm taking pictures of my kids and everything." So.
Oh, okay. You got kids?
Oh no. They're kids.
Oh, okay. Got you.
No, not yet.
That's next on the evolution. But yeah, I mean, the evolution of Cool Paso has brought us here. We're really glad that you were able to join us on this podcast.
Of course.
This is part of our evolution. Discussing, just what it's like to be a videographer in El Paso. I think a lot of people would be interested. And GK, we miss you, man. We discussed having him on last fall, but we never made it happen until now. And if we could have more videographers, if you're a videographer and you want to be on the podcast, message me on Instagram or on Facebook, and we'll have you on the show.
Yeah, don't hesitate, guys. Don't be nervous about it. Like, if you want your small business to grow, I think this would be a cool spot to let you know how you work and how you do business.
So we want to thank you, Andres. What is your last name, sir?
Molina.
Andres Molina. There you go. Drulife.
You're live.
We want to thank you for being on the podcast, and that concludes episode 2.
Thank you, Cool Paso. Nice.
There's a real cool club on the other side of town where the real cool kids go to sit around and talk bad about the other kids. Yeah, it's a real cool club and you're not part of it.